2018, a year before COVID. So COVID came, hit us hard. That was the opportunity to launch in the deep and try business.
Gilbert would later know about family media at a time when he really needed hope.
When I had come to Nairobi, I was living with my sister. Living with my sister, she's born again. So ukiwa kwake hakuna atio acha nisikize sijui nani. Unaingia kutoka asubuhi radio kama haiongei mambo ya God, kama haiongei story ya Bible. And mostly she was watching family. So that's how I came to know family. And by circumstance, so unajipata uko hapo, you watch it. And I started watching it. And I really liked how Joel Osteen was preaching. So I would see him preaching, I was like, yeah, that's my guy. So now watch, and you're like, yeah, that's how I started. Then after the programs, that's where you'll see if you like to support support us and keep Jesus on the airwaves. This is the number, 316, 316. I was like, yeah, one day, ipo siku.
From those early days, Gilbert has remained consistent and continues to share in the mission to keep Jesus on the airwaves. Watching
TV is free, but running it is very expensive. So just as a sign of gratitude of the founder and the guys who do it behind the scene, just as showing them, you guys think you guys are doing a good job, you give them whatever it is that you feel in your heart can help them, whether it's big or small, but at the moment, that's what you have, what you can give, of course, with a grateful heart. So you do it. To me, that's the first thing, just showing that I'm thankful. You guys pulled me through a situation that I didn't think per se I needed encouragement, but you guys encouraged me, so thank you.
We acknowledge the tremendous support of our partners that has been key in helping us keep Jesus on the airwaves, but we can't stop now. To become a partner with us, SMS the word partner to 20316.
They say the TV, radio, social media, whichever it is, YouTube, Talk, IG, all of it have, I guess, more than 50% the impact on the lives of everyone who's exposed to. So the more, like, allow me to use your tagline, the more Jesus is kept on the airwaves, the better for everyone. Because this guy who you think is a nobody will get exposed to God and Jesus, and their life will be transformed. Believe me, maybe he would have been a thug and maybe robbed you or killed you. But now that he's in the kingdom, he'll better the kingdom and better the government, better the area that he's in. So the more that Christ is preached, the more that people get to know of him, the better for the society.
My name is Ann Jambi Mwangi, and well, I'm a mother of one, an auntie of hundreds. I got born again in Greece, in Athens, and but I was born in the system, the Christian system. And I thank God for the promises of God to parents, because I know probably when I was born in that system, someone had made a covenant, and I'm a benefit of that covenant, and that's my mom. When I came back, I was already involved with TBN Europe. So when I came back here, I started looking for TBN, and I came across Family TV, and I realized there is a connection. So I was happy about it, and I continued with whatever was going on there. I was happy to continue with Family TV here.
As an avid viewer of Family TV, Anne has also made the commitment to give to help us keep Jesus on the airwaves.
I find that I'm raising someone I can say is actually a friend also. And I try my best to influence him to the ways of the Lord as much as I can. And then I tell God to take the rest, because I can't make it on my own. It is not easy, but mostly is talking to God about him, about everything. What should I do? What should I say? How shall I handle this? And by the way, we have a Bible study every Saturday. We sit down. It's very few people, but
Good morning. Welcome to Motivation Monday, where we bring you challenging conversations and inspiring stories. Now, in the recent past, there have been many exposés, as it were, of individuals taking advantage of others, especially sexually. And some of them have had a tone of grooming, years and years of individuals being groomed and then eventually being taken advantage of. And this is not just in Kenya, it's across the world. And for some weird reason, this particular year, there have been many cases of that has come to bear. Well, what is sexual grooming, and how can you and I be spared from the devastating effects of that particular act? But also, how can we protect those that are minors and those that are vulnerable? This is the conversation that we will be having today. And helping us with this conversation is Faith Memia, who is a psychologist, and I am looking forward to having this conversation. So let's just dive right in. Feel free, as we have this conversation, to send in your comments, your question, your feedback. 20316 is our SMS line. 0786 316 316 is our WhatsApp line. Faith, good morning.
Morning, Elijah.
It's good to see you.
Nice to see you too.
And karibu sana.
Thank you, Santi.
Well, there's much, I guess, to talk about, and so I want us to get right in. But before I do that, let me allow you to just introduce yourself to our audience, and then we'll get right to our conversation.
Okay. Thank you. So, as you have heard, my name is Faith Memia. I am a practicing psychologist, trained in both counseling psychology and clinical psychology. And I am a mom. I am also a wife. I've been married for about 10 years now, and a mom of 2 children. I am also a Christian. Yes, and I'm very happy to be here. Yes, and to talk about this very, very challenging topic.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
All right. I am happy that you're here.
Thank you.
So, first things first.
Yeah.
What is sexual grooming? I mean, you know, it could be a big term for some people.
Yes.
So then help us by way then of, you know, explanation to what we are really talking about.
All right. Sexual grooming is a process where an individual, in this case a groomer, who is known, usually targets a specific person or groups of person, and with time they gain an emotional connection or an emotional relationship with the person, with the ultimate goal of sexually exploiting them. Yes, so that is sexual grooming, although there are many types of grooming, but specifically for sexual grooming, the ultimate goal is to exploit the person at some point sexually.
Ah, okay. Then in terms of the who, then you've talked about the person, you know, doing the grooming here, you know, the groomer.
Yes.
Who can that be? But also, in terms of the person being groomed, who can that be? Is there like a specific profile? I can look at you and say, you are a potential groomer, or you are a potential groomee, for lack of a better word.
All right. So a groomer can be anybody, any age. Yeah. Yes. And let's, as we continue, I'm going to really put an emphasis with the goal and the ultimate end point is to exploit the target or the victim sexually. That is the ultimate goal, and maintain that. Okay, so anybody can be a groomer. Groomers don't have, like you said, like a sign, like, oh, you walk around and you look like you are a potential groomer. No, it's really anybody, anybody, everyday person can look like you, can look like me, very unassuming. But they have behavioral indicators.
Okay.
So physically, you might not be able to tell, but behaviorally, if you're very keen, very, very keen, you can be able to tell. Now, as to who the groomed, the target,
Yeah.
Like you said, it mostly is children and vulnerable people, and children or minors just by definition already fall in the vulnerable categories.
Yeah.
Because of just their sense of dependence on adults or on authority figures.
Yeah.
Vulnerable people, and I'd really like to demystify this. Vulnerability does not mean weakness.
Okay.
Because we usually say, or we sort of like sometimes equate vulnerability to weakness. Vulnerability here can be age, so like I said, children.
Yeah.
It can be because of your situation. For example, you have lost a job. You're already vulnerable.
That's true.
Because there's a change, a significant change. You're experiencing a death in a family, or of a significant other or a close member of family.
Yeah.
That is a vulnerability. You have moved. You have moved, relocated from maybe one place to another, another country, another region. You're already vulnerable because you're exposed. Vulnerability mostly is just being exposed emotionally, and most of the time it's when we are dealing or processing with various emotions that are brought by different situations. Also, vulnerable people are those who might not be able to give consent. So we talk about people who, let's say, are mentally challenged. When you talk about consent, consent you have to really understand what you're doing. Yes. So anybody can be vulnerable. Anybody can be groomed. Yes.
And in the case of a power differential,
right,
does that also bring in an aspect of vulnerability? So if you're talking about a junior employee, for example, and a senior employee, a senior pastor and a congregant, that kind of a thing, a boss, a CEO, vis-a-vis an entry-level kind of worker, does that also bring that element of vulnerability?
For sure it does. However, power differentials do not necessarily, they are indicators of grooming, or they can be indicators of grooming. But like I will discuss later on, there are various stages of grooming, or there are various things that you can pick up from grooming that might maybe differentiate. Let's say if it's in a workplace, and a boss is targeting a junior employee. When you talk about consent, when there are power dynamics, sometimes, you really say, especially the bigger the gap, sometimes, consent it can be tricky. It can really be tricky, first of all, to establish, because maybe this person is going to pay you at the end of the month. This person is going to determine if he's going to push projects, or she will push projects to you. They're going to determine maybe your progression within that company. Maybe they might even determine the trajectory of your career. Yes. So in many organizations, that's why they discourage really any sexual contact. Yes, but for sure, power differential, different power dynamics usually play a part in creating vulnerabilities.
All right. So I want you then to just go right into this conversation in the way that you see best, so that we may better appreciate this whole question of sexual grooming.
All right. So like I said, anybody can be groomed, and anyone can groom. Most of the groomers, at least the ones who have been, cases have been documented, and even when you look up online, you can see very well documented cases, but these mostly are abroad. People in abroad know how to document things very well. You will find that the most common types of relationship you will find is so a boss or a worker. In children, you know, you will find a teacher and child. So the teacher here would be the groomer and the child will be the victim. You will find in churches, you will find a bishop, pastor, whatever, with the congregants, or even youth pastors with the youth. You will find therapists. You know, you find
really?
Yes, because, you know, I mean, in therapy you talk about a lot of things that are troubling you, and you're very vulnerable, and that makes you, you know, it exposes you to somebody. You really find at home house helps, they also groom. You know, they groom children.
That's true.
Yes, because this person has access to your child, sometimes most of the time unsupervised. Family members, you know, you have uncles, you have aunties, you have grandparents, you have parents, you have boyfriends, girlfriends, you know, who groom younger children. Yeah, so those are some of the common types of, you know, grooming relationships that you will see. And the most unfortunate thing about grooming, because it's usually like a precursor to abuse, this is what happens before the abuse happens. In the onset, the relationship really looks like a genuine relationship. It is a kind relationship filled with, you know, care, tenderness towards the victim. And it's very difficult to detect in the beginning. And unfortunately, most people come to realize that they were groomed after the fact. So after it has happened, when you think back, that's why we say hindsight is, you know, is 2020. That's when you can see things clearly. But when you're in the process, it's difficult to detect. And grooming can happen in person or online. You know, nowadays, because of a lot of our online activities, people can be targeted online, and this one mostly happens to children. So you will find that children will be targeted in social media, or even adults in social media, some of those dating sites, or on those social media sites, or on gaming sites, you know, like especially the ones that are online gaming. So the perpetrator or the groomer will pretend to be a child, or will pretend to be, you know, a certain age, and start conversations with your child, or with a vulnerable person, and that eventually leads up to the abuse. And you know, for online, what that will look like will be like, you know, at some point as the relationship progresses, you know, they'll ask the child to send them inappropriate pictures of them, or short videos, some of them unclothed, but it's a progression. Yes, and ultimately sometimes they can end up meeting. It can get from online and go to physical. So for physical cases, like I said, you know, anybody can be groomed. Anyone is a groomer, can be a groomer. Another thing that is very important is that groomers also don't just groom the target, they groom people around the target. Yes, so what that means is, if the first stage of grooming is, you know, targeting the person, so you already know who it is that you want. And for you to gain access, which is the second, you know, like sort of like a stage, you need to sort of like manipulate the environment of that person such that gaining access is not questioned. So you will befriend the family of that person. You will befriend, let's say, if it's in a home setup, and it's a child that is being targeted. That person will insert themselves in the child's life. So they are going to become friends with the family. They will come for family functions. They will appear to be a mentor. And by the way, mentors also can be groomers. In fact, there are some of those people who have been very well documented to grow into groomers. So they target the family members. There have been cases where, you know, families are groomed, organizations are groomed, so that ultimately this person will gain access to the target that is unsupervised, that looks normal, that is not questioned.
Wow.
Because, you know, someone you don't know can't just come out of the street and then come and say, you know, hey, I want to hang out with your son or your daughter, or can I hang out with you? You know, your alarm, you know, your internal alarm signs are going to go off. But for this person to gain access that is not suspicious, they also groom the environment. They groom your family. Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's scary.
It is.
To think about.
Yes.
Is it why sometimes even when victims have gone through abuse, it's hard even for family members sometimes to accept?
Yes. So there's a very interesting, there's this lady who she's Australian, I'm forgetting her name, and she's a victim of trauma. And she says that she was groomed by a staff in the school she was in, and she had, you know, a lot of family issues. And one of the things she says is that it takes a village to raise a child, but it also takes a village to protect a predator.
Oh.
And the thing is, because this person is really manipulating your environment, when it comes to a point of reporting, it's difficult to be believed because this person does not look like the type. No, it can't be. It can't be this person. It's not the type. This person cannot do such a thing. Maybe you don't know what you're talking about, or there's something wrong with you. Yes, so that is why it becomes difficult. It's a very slow and gradual, systematic process of really gaining control and manipulating the environment of that person. And, you know, like I was saying, after, you know, you gain access, you know, the processes of that person, you start... The emotional manipulation that comes is that the person isolates you.
Okay.
The person isolates you from your sort of support system. Most people who are groomed, unfortunately, like I said, it comes to, you're groomed at a point of vulnerability. So you're having emotional needs that are not met or they're not being met. And groomers know how to target those needs, and they will become that thing and that person you need. So do you want a friend? They're going to become a friend. They're going to become a confidant. They're going to make sure that you know, sort of like your life revolves around them. When you have problems, these are the person these are people you're going to call and tell them about your problems, and they're going to actually offer guidance. And it is genuine, and it feels genuine in the moment. And over time, you come to rely on them, and you rely on them more and less on yourself. So it sort of like erodes your personal agency. You know, my ability to think clearly and rationally about something, I sort of like give that to somebody else. It's just like the way sometimes, you know, as Christians, we tend to quote pastors more than we quote the Bible, you know, like, yeah, no, pasi alisema, unajua, mtu alisema, or like children, because, you know, I have children, sometimes they will come and then when I'm making a correction or when they have done something, they say, apana, teacher alisema, you know, teacher said. So teacher supersedes the parent. So in a way, you sort of like give them power with time, and they are the ones who are actually making you do this. So how this will look like, it will be in very simple phrases like, you know, you can talk to me, you know, I'm the only one who understands you. Other people don't understand you. I also went through that, and I can identify with what you're going through. You can always talk to me. If other people don't understand you, I will get it. I will get it. And you see, to someone who is young, or someone who is vulnerable, you know, we all desire connection. That's a human need we all have,
It's true.
So we all desire connection, and this is the connection that gets you, you know, into that relationship, deeper into that relationship. So after they have isolated you, or you know, they live, sometimes, you know, you'll find, maybe, let me give an example of children who are going through, parents are going through divorce. That is an overwhelming experience for a child, because, you know, there's conflict in the home. And then here comes this person, Here comes this youth pastor. Here comes this teacher. Here comes this mentor. Here comes this therapist. You know, can be anybody, like I said. Here comes this neighbor. And they tell your child, you know, they give your child comfort. They give that your child stability, which is lacking at home. They give your child sort of like a predictable pattern, which is lacking at home. And your child now falls into that trap. And they come to rely on this person. And this person is really exploiting their fears. They're exploiting the uncertainty the person is feeling. And then after the isolation, you know, you find that the next step, you know, is desensitizing. Desensitizing the person to sexual content or sexual touch. So this will do with things like, this has to do with things like hugging. So the hugs might be excessive or long, prolonged. Sometimes you find for boys, they will do things like wrestling. So you're wrestling with a child there, and the child thinks that, oh, you know, this is normal, this is fun. But the other person, you know, the groomer is, you know, getting gratification from that act. Something very, you know, like natural curiosities about sexuality, like kissing. You know, someone might say, oh, you've never kissed someone, we can practice, it's okay. And you see, things like this are sort of like desensitizing this person to you touching them or you crossing personal boundaries. You might accidentally, you know, touch their private area. So you may touch their breast, you may touch their bum accidentally. You know, like you're
seemingly accidentally.
Yes, accidentally. I'm saying accidentally because, of course, they know what they're doing. So you see, like they can brush their hands against you, and then based on how you react, you know, they're testing boundaries. Based on how you react, either they linger there and know how much they can push, you know, the boundaries or the buttons, and to what extent. And with time, you see, it's just preparing you to the ultimate abuse. Yes. So for children, sometimes you find they might be exposed to pornography. This person might expose them to pornography or talk to them about sexual content. A lot of talks about sexual content, and some of it is not age appropriate, and some of it is the person is the one initiating, not the child. You know, they are the person who are initiating it, and they're making it seem very normal and natural. And then,
so wait a moment there. So it is not normal and natural to have this regular, constant sexual conversation.
They will depend with the context. If it is in a sexual, if in a sexual education class,
no, this is
okay.
normal relationship.
But yes, normal relationship, age appropriate. And context. Is it appropriate for this context? Who is initiating it? Why is it being initiated? For what end? You know, sometimes there is some sexual content. Afterwards, when you think about it, there was no point. You know, it seemed aimless. Yes. So
we were discussing one thing, and then this thing has just come out of nowhere.
Yes. And the point is, it's desensitizing you. It's desensitizing. You know, things like even massages. Someone just comes and decides to massage you, or, oh, you know, you're feeling tired. Okay, I can help you relax. And then they, you know, they just touch you. And sometimes, you know, when this thing is happening, by the way, there is a gut feeling you have that it's wrong, or that there's something off. But because of the relationship that they have built with you, it's difficult to say no, or for you to get out of that situations. Some people do, but others don't, because remember, this person is still fulfilling an emotional need you have. Yes, and you can. It becomes difficult to question them. It actually is easier to question yourself than question the person and what they are doing.
Wow. So rather than question their motives, you're questioning, maybe it's me who saw it wrong,
yourself.
Maybe.
Wow. That is actually part of the process. You don't trust yourself. You end up trusting the person more, such that when the action finally happens, you even question yourself, did it even happen? What did I do that led there? You sort of feel responsible for them. You're responsible for their moods. You're responsible for, you feel responsible for their actions.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
That is, it's very twisted and very, sometimes very confusing. So you can imagine, I know even some of the people who are listening to me cannot understand what I'm saying. So you can imagine if it's actually happening to you, how confusing it is. Because remember, in the beginning, this person is doing everything and is flooding you with good emotions. Safety emotions, happy emotions, joy, care, you know, all those things that we all have as human beings. We need all those to feel those things. So you have been flooded. Your system has been flooded with these things.
In fact, because I want us to take a short break. I don't know if you've heard this concept called love bombing.
Yes.
And I would want us to touch on that flooding that you're talking about. But I want us to listen to a story of impact by Veronica Mboro.
Right.
As you keep sending in your comments, your feedback, or even your questions, you're talking about sexual grooming today. And so we invite you to kindly, you know, send in your comments, questions, and feedback. And as you do that, we also invite you to consider donating to the work that we do here. Feel free to use our paybill number 316 and for account, just write your phone number. Let's listen to this story of impact. I already see Caroline Auma. I see your comment. I see that other comment. We'll be getting to those comments. Keep them coming in. 20316 is our SMS line. 0786 316 316 is our WhatsApp line.
My name is Veronica Sori Mboro. I am a wife, a mother of 2, a girl and a boy. And above all, I love God so much. Everything I do, I try to please Him. In terms of work, I'm in sales and marketing. And also I deal with ex-UK products and computers and the accessories. I grew up knowing God. I grew up in a Catholic family, and I still practice being a Catholic. But as you grow older, you start looking for your own ways in God. So I read the Bible besides going to church, and I try to do God's work. So I got pregnant, and things were hard, very, very hard. And I would just switch on family TV, like kuwasha tu, like when things get hard, I'll just switch it on, and you want it to week on, because every hour a message that will come. It will ease my pain, give me strength. You know, being pregnant and having a lot of disagreements and not knowing what you're going to do because that's your first baby. I started taking it very seriously. I'll do the 10%. I prefer to do it like weekly or daily because when you say a month, you might not have that amount. So it's been so good, and I would encourage people to do it.
We invite you to become part of the family that is helping keep Jesus on the airwaves by sending the word partner to 20316.
There was someone I had seen, he was saying, would it be amazing when you go to heaven? And when you're there, so God is asking people, how did you get saved? How did you get here to heaven? And the guy was like, and then you hear someone say in the crowd, oh, I got saved by watching family TV. And then, when you're in heaven there, wondering whether you're going to heaven or not, you hear someone say, oh, I watched it through family TV. And here I am, and I remember, oh, I was a partner at family TV. So it gives you satisfaction. It strengthens your faith, and it doesn't have to return physically in form of money. The fact that your faith grows and you're emotionally okay, yeah, so I'd encourage people to do it.
Welcome back. This is Motivation Monday, where we bring you challenging conversations and inspiring stories. And today's conversation, you will agree with me, is a challenging one. We're talking about sexual grooming. And helping us with this conversation is Faith Memia, who's a psychologist. My name is Elijah Mokaya, your host. Caroline Auma, you're saying some teachers with their students. Yes, we are talking about that relational dynamic in grooming. That is true. Pastor Peter from Gong, glad to see you tuned in. Somebody else here saying, thank you very much for shedding light on this, Faith. Very educative. Tina from church. All right, Tina, good morning to you and thank you for tuning in. Well, I want us to get right back into this conversation. Keep your comments, your feedback, your questions coming in even as we have this conversation, this all-important conversation, I would argue. Faith, karibu sana.
Thank you.
Yeah, now, just before we went on that break, you're talking about this flooding someone with all this emotional support, so to speak.
Yes.
You know, a phrase that I had heard called love bombing. Please shed light on that and then we continue the other stages of grooming.
Okay. So love bombing is usually a technique that is used not just by groomers, but really by people in dysfunctional relationships. And it's a technique that you flood the target. So the person that you are targeting, either you're in a relationship with them or you intend to be in a relationship with them, with gifts, attention, time, you know, tokens of appreciation that sometimes are not warranted. And what I mean by this is there isn't a special occasion, you know, for gifts. It's really out of nowhere and it's intense. And the purpose of that is to, it's a control tactic. It's to make sure that the person either does not leave you or the person doesn't take steps or change your relationship dynamics, you know, take steps to either address a problem in a relationship. So sometimes you find just in any maybe ordinary relationship that you can observe or maybe you're in. So maybe the person does something wrong or the person is distant or is withdrawing from you, and then you decide to just flood them with gifts or give them gifts, attention, all those things that they need because you know they need them. And then when the behavior you want is displayed, you withdraw.
Oh.
Yes, so that is really something that you can observe in some relationships. But for groomers use gifts as a way of endearing themselves to the person or to the target. And again, the gifts really are there's nothing that is, you know, happening. It's just spontaneous gifting. And sometimes if it's children, they're told to keep these things a secret, not to tell their parents. Yes. So one of the signs actually for parents to be, you know, on the lookout for is unexplained gifts. Your child has unexplained gifts from somebody. It wasn't their birthday. Also, they are being asked to be secretive about some of these things. And you know, secrets, unless it's, you know, there are good secrets like it's a surprise, you know, we are having a birthday and I don't want that person to find out. That's okay. But then a secret about boundaries, a secret about touch, a secret about activity that you know a parent will not approve of, you know, that is a bad type of a secret. Yes. So that is a way of, you know, maintaining, sort of like controlling and shaping this person to eventually lead to the abuse. And then the abuse eventually happens, and that can take many forms. Most of it is, you know, sexual. So it will either be a sexual assault, or they might ask you to perform sexual acts on them, or they might perform sexual acts on you. They might ask you to perform sexual acts on somebody else when they're there. It can really take many forms. And then after this happens, the next thing is maintaining control. So how do they maintain control of that situation? So what groomers will do is they will use guilt. They will use shame. They will use gifts. They will use threats. An array, an assortment. I mean, they have all the truth. So guilt will be like, oh my goodness, it will be so bad if somebody found out about this. I could lose my job if someone finds out about this.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, because of how unhealthy this dynamic is, most of the victims are also protective of their groomers. Yes, because remember, this is a person who initially displayed a lot of care towards you. So when you think about it, how we store memories in our minds, we have good feelings, so good memories are stored. So you have good memories about this person. And then there's this act that is very horrible, and they are bad memories, and they are stored also. So connecting these good feelings that this person makes you have, and also these bad feelings, is very confusing. So because over time this person has trained you not to trust yourself, but to trust them only, and they have trained you to take care of them emotionally. You suspend your emotional needs, but you take care of their needs.
Wow.
It becomes difficult for you to want to expose them. Yeah, so it's very weird. You want to protect them. Yes, and sometimes you'll find children don't report because they feel responsible and they feel like they don't want to expose. And this also goes to adults. There's a way you have been trained to feel like your actions or what you do are you are responsible towards that person. Yes. So they will use shame. Nobody will believe you. I mean, you have been a victim of, you've been abused before. What makes you think that people will believe you? Sometimes in the workplace, let's say it's a boss and a subordinate or their employee, and they know that they're about to be found out. You will find that they'll do things like they'll talk about the abuse, but in a way of, they will twist it, And please remember, groomers groom the environment also, okay? So they might come and say, by the way, I don't think Elijah nowadays ako sawa. I'm feeling like I need to withdraw from that relationship. And I've been mentoring Elijah for some time, but I think I need to withdraw from this relationship because he's been lying a bit about some things. He's been saying some untruths about a few things, and I've really tried, but I think I think I need to take a step back. So you see, when they already tell people that, when you come and report, it's difficult to be believed because
people already have been told you're a liar.
Yes. So, and this is actually a tactic that is used when they are discovered. The first thing is denial, obviously. No, it did not happen. Now, when there's evidence that it actually did happen, it's to minimize. Okay, even if it happened, it wasn't that bad. Haikuwa hivyo.
It wasn't not what you think.
So, it wasn't to that extent. And sometimes, victims even question their memories. Did it really happen the way I think it did? And I'd like maybe to just tell whoever is listening to me and has been a victim or is suffering from trauma as a result. Sometimes the fact that you don't remember everything in its entirety does not mean it didn't happen. And that is because of how our minds and bodies react to a traumatic event. Most of the time, let's say there's a sexual assault that is happening right now. Most of the time, what happens to that person in the moment, if you know you can't get away from it, this person is going to overpower you, or this person has some form of control over you, your brain sort of like shuts down. And it's a survival mechanism. It shuts down, and so that you can just survive the ordeal. And then afterwards, you might not remember it well, or you might remember bits and pieces, and that is really fragmented memories that can occur due to a traumatic event. And sometimes you find people remember these memories as forms of intrusive thoughts. So you might be sitting somewhere and then a thought just comes to you, then you're like, what was that? Where did that come from? And then you remember it is you, but it's not very clear. So that doesn't mean it didn't happen. It's just that you experienced a traumatic event and your body was protecting you. And unfortunately, if you don't deal with it properly, it for sure will cause you problems in your life. And that maybe might bring me to signs of someone who has been groomed, you know. And I'm not saying that these things that I'm talking about doesn't mean that the person is being groomed or is being abused sexually. It just points to they might be. So you need to do further investigations. So if it's children, you will find that they withdraw a lot socially. They withdraw from their families, from their friends. There's poor performance in school. They know about sexual content that has not been taught in school, or the parent has not taught. So there's knowledge and also a lot of increased sexual activity. Yes, that a parent might notice. There might be suicidal ideations. Some might cut themselves, cut or burn themselves. So, you know, you might find cuts on the wrists, on thighs, on different parts of the body. And that's really just a way of dealing with the pain, the emotional pain that the person is experiencing. Might be increased drug use or alcohol abuse, disturbed sleep, weight loss, unexplained weight loss. And, you know, most of these signs are actually signs of depression. You know, excessive, maybe talking or risky behavior. So things like that you might, or they are very, very protective of a particular person or an authority figure. So either extremely fearful, extremely obedient towards authority figures that was not there before. Yes. So those are some of the things that you might, behaviorally, that you might pick as a caregiver or a parent, that you might want to investigate further on. Now, what behaviors does a groomer have? Yes.
Very important.
A groomer is a kind person. He's a caring person. He's a loving person. They are also someone who you find behave sometimes inappropriately. If you're very keen, let's say the target is a teenager or a child, they are identifying too much emotionally with that child. They are behaving also, or, you know, like a child sometimes.
Not appropriate even for their own age.
It's not appropriate for the age. When you look at their developmental age and what they are doing, you have some question marks. You're like, that's strange.
Now, in fact, what I'm wondering, there is the age, but is there a position as well? So one could behave inappropriately for their age, but could the other side be true, where one is also behaving inappropriately for their position? Age is an easy one to see, but you know how, based on the position you have, if you're a teacher, for example, if you're a CEO, for example, if you're a bishop, there's a sense in which, by virtue of the office and the position, there's a way you're meant to behave. So if you behave with junior employees almost as though you're a junior, does that also count?
It could be. Not necessarily. It's not like it's not 100%, but it could be. Based on, are you targeting them? Is that your target? Are you spending excessive amounts of time with that group, and to what end? Yes, like going with your example. So if this CEO is, you know, behaving according to the position they hold is not matching with their behavior with their juniors, so the question is why? Why is it not matching? Is it are they spending, first of all, excessive amounts of time with those people? Is there contact after work? Is there gift giving, unexplained gift giving? You know, those are the things now to watch out for. Okay. What other signs of groomers? We probably have another 3 or 4 minutes. So they would be encouraging secrecy, and they would want unsupervised access to their target.
Yeah.
Yes. So they will do everything in their power to eventually get that unsupervised target.
Yeah.
Unsupervised time with the target. Yes. So it's difficult to, you know, pick them out, because that really can be anyone. What I've said can really be anybody.
That's true.
Yes. And maybe just a message of hope. It doesn't mean that everyone who's behaving like this is a groomer.
Yeah.
Yes, but you should be vigilant, because at the end of the day, we don't want to live in fear.
That's true.
We don't want to live, you know, with a lot of mistrust, because that in itself will create other psychological problems.
Yeah.
You know, anxiety sometimes comes because of this, because, you know, you're so fearful of your environment, you're so fearful of people, and some people are actually genuine people who care about you.
Yeah.
But you need to be vigilant when now your boundaries are being, you know, are being crossed.
Eroded, yeah.
You need to be vigilant about being desensitized to things. And one of the ways, very, very simple ways to be vigilant, trust your gut. Because most of the time when these things are happening, there is a gut feeling you have, and maybe over time we learn how to ignore it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or we are manipulated in such a way that we don't really give it as much focus as we need to.
Yeah.
So trust your gut when it happens. If you have somebody you suspect is being groomed, or if you have gone through grooming yourself and you are just realizing it now, please get psychological help, get psychological support, because if you have been a victim of grooming, you are at an increased, you know, you are at risk of developing alcohol and drug use dependency problems. You are at risk of having marital problems.
Oh.
Yes, because your trust, you know, someone has used a very natural process and eventually violated your trust. So then you become a person who cannot trust people.
Yeah.
And if you cannot trust people, really, that is a very serious antagonist to a marital relationship or any really any relationship. Yeah. So please get help, and if somebody tells you that someone is abusing them or grooming them, please listen to them.
Don't doubt them.
No. Please listen to them, and please offer them, even if you do not understand, because some of the things I have talked about, I'm sure people will not understand. Be empathic. Yes, be empathic, support them, because sometimes based on your reactions, you know, are the things that will tell people if you can trust you or not. Yes. Yeah, so be empathic, offer them support. Yeah. Wow.
Faith, I think this has been enlightening. Of course, we might not be able to cover everything, but I think this is useful, at least in preventing at least many from getting to that space. If somebody wanted to get in touch with you, how would they be able to do that?
All right. So if you have any questions or any follow-ups from this, you can contact me through my phone number. So you can either send me a message or you can call me on 0729 560 580. Yes, or you can email me at faithmemia. You can email me faithmemia@gmail.com.
Okay, all right. And if you've not gotten that, if you reach out to us, we'll still be able to give you those contact details. Thank you so much, Faith.
Thank you.
This, I think, has been a very enlightening conversation, indeed, as somebody said. And it is my prayer and hope that somebody will be assisted. If you're there, just as you've had, and maybe now you're realizing that you have been groomed or you are a victim of abuse, please find help. And for those of us that these cases come to us, please let us respond appropriately. Let us not doubt the victim, because perhaps our very environment was groomed. So thank you so much for that. Somebody says, what motivates someone to be a groomer? Oh, questions have come. Unfortunately, we may not be able to respond, but like Faith has said, feel free to reach out and she will be able to just give details onto some of those things. as I go and as we, continue with the programs for the day, just a reminder that we bring you these programs because we have partners, men and women like yourself. Yes, we've been able to keep Jesus on the air these 26 years because of men and women like yourself. And so feel free to donate right now. Of course, there's the M-Pesa pay bill that I'd mentioned earlier, but you could also make a bank deposit or a bank transfer using our cooperative bank account number 0113-6000-799100. The account name is TBN Family Media. Thank you, as the Lord grants you the ability to give whatever it is that He has given you. This is the end for today. See you again next Monday for another conversation. But please remain vigilant, but don't live in fear. God bless you.